Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And in today's stream, I'm going to be working a little bit more on scene 2 of my animation. Now, earlier, if you guys keep up with my channel, you would see that uploaded I actually uploaded scene 1, and it's mainly just to be like a sneak peek. And actually, I think it turned out pretty good. And sadly, I don't know what happened. I think the save might have gotten corrupted because the animation, I'm missing a few frames. I thought I saved it. I really did. Or maybe I don't know. I have like a different file saved. But what I have uploaded is different from what is here right now. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But now I'm working a little bit on scene 2. And actually, let me see. There might be a different version of it. Oh, yes, here it is. I think this is actually the latest version. At least I hope it is. Sorry to just pull up my files while the stream has started, because I had opened this up and I saw that I was missing some stuff. So I'm just opening this to see if things have changed or if anything's different. And shit, I think I might have crashed my Adobe Animate. I am so sorry, guys. Like, I just wanted to start the stream and get into drawing, but this is a whole issue right now. Let's see here. Let's see here. And yeah, I'm still having issues. Dang, I hate it when that happens. And that's the strange thing, is it just corrupted, because I know for a fact that what I uploaded is different than what I have, and I just hate the idea that I have to animate over again. But you know what? It's okay. What's done is done. I'll just focus on what I can fix, not what I can't fix. Because I've still done so much, and I've already drawn and animated so much, so. Anyway, we're not focused on scene 1, let's focus on scene 2 right now. So I have about 10 cars that I need to draw. I've already done 5 I've already done 4. This is the 5th car. And the issue I'm running into is the fact that I'm actually probably gonna have to downsize the amount I draw, because how do I put it? Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I think my file corrupted, or maybe I just forgot to save or autosave, because I definitely remember that I drew more than this. And now I'm just like missing some stuff that I worked on, because I actually worked on this. I wouldn't say a lot, but I did work on this like quite a bit off stream. And now it's like, it feels like, I don't know, like I'm starting over or I'm starting from square one. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm starting from square one because I've done a lot and I've worked on a lot. I should be giving myself more credit. But at the same time, it's like you work on a project and you want to see it come to fruition, but at the same time, you also want to make sure that what you make is good. And I think nowadays artists hold themselves to too high of a standard than what their skills actually are at present. And at least me personally, I have a bad habit of always comparing myself to other artists. So then I'm like, oh, why am I not drawing like this person? Oh, why don't I have a job like this person? Why isn't my stuff like this or that? And then sort of what I have to keep reminding myself, and even now, even after all of the advice I've given, even after like all of the many exercises I have done, everything, like I still feel like my art isn't good enough just because I don't have what other people have, and like that's horrible. Like I feel like a horrible person even saying that. Like I feel envious and I feel bad that I'm envious. But I don't think that my desire is born from envy. I think my desire is born from fear because I'm from a background where being successful, going to college, having a career is important. And to not have any of those things or to not have accomplished or achieved any of those things is sort of, you're met with so much scrutiny by your peers and by your family members. Like, I don't want to disappoint anybody. So I've tried so hard and it feels like I've come so far. But sometimes I feel like I've just hit a brick wall. Like, what if I can't grow anymore? What if I'm stuck like this? What if no one ever hires me? And it's like, realistically, it is statistically unlikely for you to stay jobless. But but me personally, I have a history of being jobless. Like when I was living on campus, I applied for maybe 25 jobs. Only one of them called me back and had like a sit down interview with me. Like they said, hey, it was a job of where I had to like set up and put away chairs and tables and stuff like that. And I did that. I at least think I did pretty good, but they never called me back. And then all those other jobs, I never heard anything from them either. So it's like my fear and my worry doesn't come from nowhere. Like I have personal experience with searching for jobs and being turned away or being rejected. So I start to think like, am I destined to not have a job? Am I destined for struggle? Like, even though I've worked so hard, is nothing ever gonna happen for me? But what I don't need is, I don't need nor do I want my family to constantly be stepping in and telling me what I need or don't need to be doing. Like after my grandmother died, they wanted to put her car in my name and give me her car. And like, yeah, I want my grandmother's car. Yes, I need a car. Yes, I need a license. And yes, I'm a 22-year-old without a license, but let me explain. So essentially, there was never really a serious need for me to get a car. Like, I lived on campus, so whenever I needed to go anywhere, I would just take the bus, the school transit. And then parking passes were super expensive. Like, I think it was maybe $190, $200 for a parking pass. So then I said, okay, well, I can't really, I might as well just not take a car with me. Like, I might as well just walk wherever I need to go. And then even during school, like, I mean, not during school, but like during high school, like, high school was when I was really interested in getting my license. But then it's like, my mom, she would always have like some excuse or say something like, oh, you need to get your grades up. I would get my grades up, and then she'd still say, oh, you need to get grades up more. Or, oh, you're out of time. So I got my permit late, and then I was driving. I was, in fact, driving. There were times when I drove, and I even drove around my uncle's garage because my uncle, when he was still living, he owned his own auto shop, and I would like move the cars and do different things like that. So I was getting my hours in, but my mom, she still wouldn't let me fill in those hours because she wasn't personally there to see me or like oversee me. So then I just, so there was just a lot of time where I wasn't allowed to write down my hours. So then, like, I came to her and I said, hey, let me just, fill out my hours. I have been driving. I've been driving. And she just wouldn't let me do anything. So then I couldn't get my license. I couldn't get my, when I got my permit, I got my license late. I couldn't fill in my hours. It, it almost felt like, and this is going to sound horrible, but it almost felt like she didn't want me to be independent. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But anyway, like, there were times where it felt like she didn't want me to be independent. She wanted me to sort of depend on her. And because of that, now, months later, years down the line, it feels like I'm getting shit from my family for not having everything figured out or for not doing what they want me to do. And so now I have to deal with that pressure of trying to make my family happy, trying to sort of relegate them as well as trying to get done what I need to get done. And then it feels like everybody is judging me. Which honestly is a horrible feeling to have. Like this is a horrible feeling. I hate feeling like this. And now all I can really do, or now all I know to do, is just do what I've been doing. And it's like now, even now, after I've graduated and after I've succeeded, what I've done is still not good enough. Like, I'm an animator, I'm a concept artist. What I need to do, and this is what I know I need to do, is I need to work on my portfolio and I need to apply for jobs. But no matter how many times I try to explain it to my family, especially my own mother who has been with me, it's like in one ear, out the other. Like, she doesn't understand that I need to do art, that I need to work on my portfolio in order for me to get a job. She just thinks I spend too much time in my room away from her. And it's like, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to be successful. And it's at a point where she is no longer helping me. What she is doing is harming. And I can't even tell her that. I can't even try to explain it. She's stubborn. Like, she is stuck in her mindset where I know everything. I know what you need to do. You need to listen to me. I know so much more than you, even though I've never picked up a pencil in my life or drawn anything. You need to listen to my advice because my advice is going to make you successful. And it's like, she doesn't. She doesn't know everything. And I know I sound cringy, or I know I sound like I have like mommy issues, but like, I'm just gonna be honest. Yes, I have mother issues. I know that. Do I feel bad about it? Yes. Do I feel some modicum of shame about it? Yes. But like, I don't even know what to say. All I know and all I want is to be successful. All I really want is to be successful, get a job, pay off my loans, and then live a happy life where I can work on my animations in peace and have some illusion or modicum of peace. That's really all I want and all I desire in life is just peace. Because one of the things that I hate, that I can't stand, is a person who wants to be listened to, but they don't want to take the time to listen to other people. Or they think they know everything. And then when you know more, or when you try to explain something to them, like they don't listen to you. Because I know what I need to do, and I know what I have to do, and I don't want to be told otherwise. I just want support. I just want moral support. That's really all I want. I'm not looking for advice. I'm not looking to be told what I need to do or what I have to do. And and honestly, it's hard. Like, growing up in a religious, sort of age centric family where age is more important than everything, it's hard because no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you try and improve yourself, you're still seen as a child, and you're still seen as someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. And it's gaslighting. Like, it is high key gaslighting. It is high key treating someone like they're crazy or like they don't know what they're talking about. And I don't want to share all of my business online because, stuff online, that it never goes away and it never fades away. But it's like, I have been through a lot for my age. And I'm not saying like, oh, I had it better than anyone else. Like, I know for a fact that there are plenty of people who have had it worse than me. And I shouldn't act like a victim, or I shouldn't act like my issues are one in a million. But like, this is just some sort of open talk or relaxed conversation while I work on this animation. But it's like, so when COVID hit, I had to go back home. And so my mother had came. She had like we had packed up all my stuff because I was living on campus at the time. And we had went to my grandmother's apartment. And my mother, I remember her saying like, "Hey, you don't have to stay with me. You can just go home because we have a home." But because my grandmother had reached a certain point, she she but because my grandmother had reached a certain point, she was living in like a she wasn't living in assisted living. It was more so like she had like elderly apartments. So while I was off to college, my mom, she chose to take care of my grandmother. She was still paying a mortgage on her house, but she had moved in with my grandmother to help take care of her. And it's like, and I don't regret it. I don't regret taking helping my mom take care of my grandmother because it was during that time when she only had like two bedrooms. It was her bedroom, like a spare room, and then the living room and the kitchen were connected. It was one of those type of apartments. So like my mom and I, we would switch off. So like sometimes she would sleep in the spare room, other times I would sleep in the spare room, and then it was like we both took care of my grandmother, and she had like in-house aides who would take care of her and help take care of her. Like she had maybe she had two nurses. Well, actually no, she had three, but we had to fire one. But like one of them would come Monday and Tuesdays, and then the other one would come Wednesday, Thursday, and then work a half a day Friday. And so but even then, like they didn't spend the night over. They didn't stay for any longer. It was literally um like a 9 to 5 job for them, where they would help us take care of my grandmother, and that gave me time to work on my schoolwork, and it also gave my mother time to where she could work at her day job. And so it's like I was taking care of my grandmother while my mom was at work. And then while my mom was at work, and then while my mom was home, like I was still taking care of her, but like I could sort of take it easy. And even then, because I'm the only man or masculine person there, like there were still times where like I had to help my grandmother out of bed or like sit on the toilet, different things like that. And I'm gonna be honest, and this is something that I never told my mom because I didn't want her to worry, but I almost failed college because I wasn't having good grades, and I had to tell them, like I actually had to like take pictures of sort of like my grandmother's equipment and stuff like that, like they put a hold on my account, and I had to tell them, I had to show them like, hey, I'm taking care of my grandmother, like this is COVID, please don't put a hold on my account. I need to pay for my school expenses, like my textbooks and different stuff like that. And thankfully, I was able to get the hold off my account. But like anyway, my grandmother, she has she has 6 children. She had 6 children. Um One of them died. That was my uncle who died when I was in high school. Like he died in my senior year of high school. Like my grandmother, she had 5 children, and like it was literally just me and my mom who stayed with her 24/7. Like it's like as soon as I came home from college, like I was there helping take care of her. Like I was the one helping her in and out of bed, often on the toilet. Like whenever she would fall or like she would have, for YouTube's sakes, accidents, like I was the one who had to clean up after her. Like I would have to get on my hands and knees and like scrub the bathroom floor and the toilet and stuff like that when my mom wasn't home. And then I just remember like my grandmother, she had like so much shame about it because and she was an old fashioned person. She was like the kind of person where oh, you're a boy, you shouldn't have to see me like this. Like, oh, I'll clean it up. But it's like my grandmother physically couldn't clean up after herself because she was just so weak and she didn't have the movement that she could have had. So it was me who was stuck cleaning up after her, and she felt shame for that. And like I would just tell her, like, "Oh, grandma, it's 2020, like it's the 21st century. People don't care about stuff like that. You can't do it yourself. Just let me do it." And I'm sorry. It's painful to talk about this because I would also there would be nights where my grandmother she would like cry herself to sleep. My grandmother would literally cry herself to sleep. She would say like, "Oh, I treated all my kids the same. I helped them all. And now only you and your mom are here for me." And it was painful to listen to. It was truly painful and heart wrenching to listen to. And like, do I have and look, I don't have my entire family's history. Like, I don't know all that happened, but it's like to abandon your mother like that in her time of need and to leave your nephew to and leave your nephew and your sister to take care of everything. And the thing is that yeah, they might have visited like 1 or 2 days out of the week, and like we may have had like a Friday dinner or a Saturday dinner together, and we would do fun stuff like that with like one of my aunts. But like the other aunt, she just went radio silent. And then my uncle, like he would have like prostitutes like in her apartment. Like he would invite women over, do who knows what, like while my grandmother was in the bed. And then I will never forget, like I was there one morning and my grandmother she had to go to dialysis. And for those of you who don't know, dialysis is like where they have to sort of like process your blood for you, or it's something with like the plasma and the red blood vessels. Like I'm blanking on it now because I don't even want to remember it. But it's like she had to go to dialysis in the morning. And then I just remember my grandmother crying and shouting, saying, "Please, please, get me up, wake me up. I can't miss dialysis." And that, I don't like to, just use trigger words or anything like that, but I'm gonna be honest, that terrified me. That traumatized me to like have to hear my grandmother beg and plead with one of her children to like get her out of bed so she doesn't miss a serious medical appointment. Like that was haunting for me to hear. And so like after taking care of my grandmother, even after graduating, even after doing so much stuff, like I'm still seen as a child and I'm still seen as someone who doesn't know how to take care of themselves or doesn't know how to do anything. And it's insulting, it's demeaning because I've done so much. I've taken care of so much. I it's honestly it's horrible. It is just horrible to work so hard and to constantly try to prove to people that I should be taken seriously and to like, hey, back off and just give me some time to breathe and some time to do my own thing. But they don't. And even after graduating, even after taking taking care of their mother until her last day on this earth, like they still want me to do more. They still are expecting more from me, and they still make like snide comments about how like, oh, you don't have a job, or you don't do anything. Like it's horrible. It's insulting. And it's just overall a bad feeling. And then to be told like, oh, you need to take a break. Oh, you're doing too much. Like, oh, all you do is sit in your room and do nothing. Like that's insulting. That is demeaning because I haven't had the chance to really work on my art and hone my craft. I haven't had the chance to really get down to business and actually dedicate a portion of time to my art. And honestly, I kind of hate this and I just want to work hard. I just want to work on my animation. I want to get some kind of recognition. I just want one of my applications to go through, get a job, let me save up some money, and then I'm out. I'm gone. And I'm done forever. Cuz I'm tired. This has been I'm what 22 years old. Like this has been like 10, 12 years of like just constantly being told that I don't know nothing, that I'm a child, that I need to do more, that I'm not doing enough, that I constantly need to listen to somebody. And if I'm being honest, if you'd allow me to just be honest and direct, I don't have an issue with authority. Like honestly, I'm pretty sure I don't have an issue with authority. I just hate being treated like I'm crazy, or I hate the fact that my family just doesn't let me do me and doesn't let me handle things because I know what I need to do. I know that I need to handle things. I know I need to get a job. And I know how to get a job, or at the very least, I know what first steps I need to take. They're just not letting me do it. But if I say, like, hey, back off, or hey, I'm handling it, then they'll get impatient, like, oh, you said you were handling it, then why are you still XYZ, XYZ? Or like, oh, you said you could take care of it, like, why isn't it done yet? And like, I'm being honest, like, after this, after everything, I don't even know if I want to interact with my family ever again. At least not my mom's side of the family. And yes, and look, I may be an only child, but like, I know that no family is perfect. I know that, you know, having sisters or like having uncles, things are gonna get wild and things are gonna get crazy. And you always have that one aunt or uncle that you just can't take anywhere or just can't do anything with. But like, at some point, I really need to just have a conversation with myself and say, like, hey, how long am I gonna let these people keep treating me like I'm crazy? Like, how long am I going to let myself be this doormat? And how long am I gonna let these people keep misconstruing everything I say and do and like call it disrespect or call it not knowing my place? Because that's another thing that's really toxic, and I guess the black community in general is the black community has a warped perception of what respect is. At least my family, my family especially, has a warped sense of what respect is. And it trickles down in how they talk to each other and how they treat each other. At least that's what I've noticed, is that like every little thing, every little like disagreement or like differing opinion is, oh, you're disrespectful. Oh, you don't know your place. Oh, you're trying to make me look bad. And it's like, no, that's not the case. Like you are saying and doing like some very far left stuff. And just because I call you out on it, or just because I hold you accountable and say, hey, that's sideways, it doesn't mean I don't know my place. Because if I don't say anything, then how do you change? If I don't say anything or if I don't do anything, then you're just going to keep going on, and then you're not going to know that what you're saying or what you're doing is hurting people. Like, people in my family, they like, they hurt people, or like they say insensitive things, or they don't understand stuff. And another thing is, they were born in a different time period. I get that. Like, my mom and her siblings, like, they are the silent generation. Not only that, they are like the southern silent generation. So you know that they come from that generation where, oh, you need to respect your parents, like, oh, you need to do XYZ. And that's not a bad thing. Of course, respect your parents. Like, I don't think I could be in a relationship with anyone, platonic or platonic or romantic, where they didn't respect their parents. But it's like there's a difference between respecting your parents and like defending yourself or saying, "Hey, no, that's not right. Don't do that." I'm sorry, you guys just wanted to look at my stream. Now I'm just spilling my life story. And you guys are probably laughing at me, saying, like, oh, look at him. He has family issues. But if I'm being honest, I actually think that our family issues and the things we've gone through sort of shape what we want for our future. Because, I mean, shoot, I don't want to make any scenes in public. Like, I want to start my own business. I want to run my own store. Like, I want to be just a good, somewhat decent artist. Like, that's really all I want and all I'm looking for in life. Okay, so car number 9. Ooh, car number 9 is actually a nice one. Car number 9 is actually a car hooking a turn, which is gonna be somewhat fun to animate. I already did like the sort of rough for it, so it shouldn't be that hard. And then another thing is because of the images in the foreground, it actually might end up being easier to draw. This scene is actually coming along nicer than I suspected because if I'm being honest and direct, like it's just a collection of tweens, which okay, I know using a bunch of tweens is lazy, but it does save on time. I'm gonna be just a little bit shameless and say tweens save on time. You know, don't judge me. Don't be too angry. Oh, okay. Card 10 is actually pretty easy, and it's the shortest one. I just have to draw the back of a car and then move it forward. You know, if I'm being completely honest, and if you'd let me be like completely transparent, I think that animation and just art in general, it helps me process things and it helps me get my thoughts and feelings out there. Creativity for me is the best form of expression because I can channel what makes me sad or what makes me angry and I can put that on a canvas and show people. And I feel that people can know me and people can know what I think or feel through my art. And not just that, but people can assess themselves through whatever art is being produced as well. Which, yeah, that sounds kind of crazy. I may sound like a crazy person, but hey, it's something that I love to do, right? Sometimes you just gotta go for it. Sometimes you just gotta find that thing and just do it, you know? And that's also why I don't just love animation, but I love watching different animations. Like I rewatched I rewatched Arcane for like what, the third, fourth time. I'm at the end of episode 4 and I just started episode 5 where Caitlyn was in the shooting competition. And not only that, but I'm also rewatching Dragon's Blood too because, okay, in my honest and genuine opinion, I think that Dragon's Blood is animated Game of Thrones. Okay, it's like Game of Thrones if it were animated and there was like a ton more drama and lore. Like you have people killing each other, you have people fighting for what they believe in. There's no true good or bad guy, except for maybe Salamene, the moon goddess. Like Salamene is just she's horrible. She's a horrible person, and she's messy because she likes to lie or she doesn't or she's not like transparent with her people. So it's like she's messy, but like for the most part, pretty much it's pretty much just animated Game of Thrones, which is awesome. What else was gonna talk about? Oh yeah, like if you like TV, if you like a good drama, watch Dragon's Blood. Especially like I'll say like the second half of book 1 and then book 2 and book 3, like those, that is just all drama. I will say it's not necessarily slow like the first half of book 1, but it's more so like it's just messy because they have to set up so much stuff and they have to like establish things for you to get into the grit and the meat of the story. But like Dragon's Blood is good. And then I also love the Hoyoverse animations. Like I've seen Befall, I've seen Starfall, I've seen uh I've seen all of them. I've seen Final Lesson. And my favorite animation is actually the new Hoyoverse animation, which is Because of You. It's where you have like Hersher Elysia, and like they're destroying the Elysian realm. And so it's like it's just beautiful to look at because the way they blend 2D and 3D animation, and not just 2D animation, but like they'll use 2D for their effects, but there's also sort of like this cyberpunk esque retro animation. There's like this cyberpunk esque retro sort of like segment where Alicia is surfing and she's like riding through a bunch of data and code, and it really reminds me of like early retro anime like Ghost in the Shell and a little bit of Sailor Moon, as well as just Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is it is so good. It is a nice segment. Like you can tell that that studio, that company, they love and they work hard on what they produce. Which honestly, I think that is the most important when it comes to art, as well as expressing, as well as expression in general, is just being able to show people how much you love and care about your project. It doesn't even have to be something mainstream, just showing people that, hey, I spent so much time on this. I love this. I care about this. And not just to produce it, but have people see it and then see how what you made touches people and affects them. Like, that is beautiful. And that's what I try to strive for in my animations is touching people and them coming back with like a feeling or a lesson or a message that someone can look at what I made and say, hey, I feel heard. Hey, it feels like this speaks to me. Like that's what I want the most and that's what I long for the most is to evoke a feeling in somebody, anybody. Because one of my biggest inspirations for pursuing animation is actually Monty Ohm. Like, I was watching Monty Ohm before I even knew what Red versus Blue or Ruby was. Like, I watched his Dead Fantasy collection. I also watched like a bunch of Stickman fight animations. So like it was really the action that pulled me in. But then growing up, I also watched a lot of anime, which was like I watched I didn't watch Ghost in the Shell, which is kind of ironic because now in life I love cyberpunk and I love cyberpunk aesthetics. But like I didn't watch Ghost in the Shell when I was growing up because I was actually kind of afraid of it because it was one late I think it was like one late night when I woke up and I turned on the TV and it had the main character Kisaragi. Yeah, like Makoto, I think her name is. It had like Makoto, she was having this strange operation where this doctor lady was performing a sort of physical on her. And I think the doctor like had a crush on Makoto or something like that. But like and the imagery is good. Like looking back on it now, some of the animation in Ghost in the Shell, it is so detailed and beautiful. But it's like at the time, the animation was too good that it scared me. Like really, that's what it sort of like boils down to is the animation was too good that it scared me. So I missed out on like this gem of a show because I couldn't grow up. Anyway, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Yeah, my love for animation. So I really loved anime growing up. Like I remember I actually didn't like I actually did not like Dragon Ball Z. My cousin did. Now my cousin, if you were to talk to him and chat him up, he would probably talk your ear off about about Dragon Ball Z. I wasn't much of a Dragon Ball Z fan, but like I remember watching dang, I actually forgot the animes I watched. I think there was this one anime called Vampire Knight. I remember Spirited Away, and I think it was Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, and something else that showed up on Toonami. I do remember watching Dragon Ball Z Kai. I just did not watch the original Dragon Ball Z. I watched Sailor Moon. Uh, there was this one movie I watched. I'm pretty sure it was a movie. It was like about this vampire or some kind of like monster with like white hair, and then his friend had to like shoot him with a gun or else his friend would like eat him or like drink his blood or something. I forgot. um what else? There were, look, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Like 6 and 7 years old, that was a blur for me. Like all I remember is just staying up late after like my mom went to bed and just watching anime. Like and I can't remember which anime I watched. All I know is it had like action and it was really good. Now I did watch Bleach, and I wasn't really a fan of Inuyasha. I'm still not. Like I am a contrarian to my core. Like I hate mainstream stuff because I don't know, like I just growing up, I just didn't like stuff where it was like I had like this whole contrarian phase where I didn't like stuff that other people liked because I didn't want to be, basic or normal or whatever. Like I literally finished watching Demon Slayer a year ago because I didn't want to be seen as like mainstream or like be like a sort of like bad watcher of anime. I wanted to ensure that I was a true weeb. Now that I think about it, I'm just a freaking dumbass, but at the time it made sense in my head and in my heart. Like at the time in my heart, I know I'm not petty. I know I'm not crazy. But it's like now it's like no. You're dumb. Just watch the show and enjoy it for what it is. You don't have to do all this extra stuff. That's what I learned at least. I mean, honestly, I think Toonami made a generation. Like, I'm just gonna be frank with it. Toonami made a generation. Not just a generation of like artists and animators, but people who love quality content in general and love complex storytelling in general. Like anime, it has a market and it's reached a sort of market in the West that has long since been sort of, what's the word? Not ignored, but just overlooked because when I was growing up, well, for starters, when I'm still growing. How can I say when I was growing up? I'm only 22 years old, and I feel freaking old. Um, anyway, but when I was, younger, what was I about to say? Dang, I just went on this whole entire tirade. I'm sorry, guys. Dang, what was I about to say? Uh, I guess I should just like start over. Anyway, when I did a freaking whole entire video essay on this, and I'm coming at a pause. I'm a freaking disaster. Why do you guys even subscribe to me? Why do you guys even watch me? No, please watch, please stay, please subscribe, and tell all these amazing people online how great I am. Anyway, what was I about to say? Oh yes. So in the West, there is an empty market for young adult content with complex storytelling. Like the most we had was Static Shock, and then Batman and Superman the animated series. Like those had somewhat serious storytelling. Oh, and the Justice League franchise. Like how can I forget about the Justice League show? That was like pretty good. But anyway, to come back to my point, the West has less stock in young adult content with complex storytelling. Usually, if you want something with more serious undertones and overtones, it's gonna be live action. So, Green Arrow, The Flash, uh, Riverdale, Vampire Diaries, the originals, stuff like that. If you want serious stuff, you're gonna have to go live action. Whereas shows like anime, those innately have a more young adult and adult centered sort of focus. So you're gonna get like blood and gore and people dying, and not just blood and gore, but like serious concepts and ideas like exploring, you know, self harm and suicide and stuff like that. So it was obvious that those things were going to garner an audience, especially in an area like the West where there is a vacuum of that content, where there is little, if any, sort of format for that. So in the early 2000s, when Toonami came in, it shook things up. Like it literally shook things up. That's why we have this concept of a 90s kid who watches Hey Arnold or Thundercats or Sailor Moon, different shows like that. And why we have the concept of like, geeks and nerds who love Dungeons and Dragons and who make a whole bunch of different references the whole I have got an anime on my side. Like that was like that stemmed from anime. That stemmed from Toonami. Toonami saw the potential of exposing anime to the West and they capitalized on it. And even now, like, look at Nickelodeon. Where's Nickelodeon? Nowhere. When I flip through Spectrum, I don't see Nickelodeon. Look at Disney Channel. They still have a bunch of live action TV shows. Disney XZ, you can't even get that on basic cable. And when I still watch Disney XD, they still had live action shows. Look at Cartoon Network, like Amazing World of Gumball and Steven Universe for its time and Adventure Time. Like those were good and more, I wouldn't say they were serious shows, but they were rewatchable. Oh, and then don't forget Gravity Falls. That was good too. Like that, people still love Gravity Falls, and it's been over for like what, 6 years already? It's 2022. Gravity Falls ended in like 2016, 2018. So yeah, people still love Gravity Falls. People still rewatch that. There are still a bunch of memes on Gravity Falls. Uh, the Owl House, they canceled that show. Amphibia ended. So like, really, what's left for Disney Channel? What original shows do they have that's left? I mean, Miraculous Ladybug, that's not an in-house product. Disney is Disney has the license to that so they can show it on their channel. But for the most part, like Miraculous Ladybug isn't really an in-house Western product. And then that's why you see the upsurge of like web series and web animations. Like Hayun's Dojo, people love stickman fight animations. Then look at Hell of a Boss. Look at Has Been Hotel. People eat that stuff up. Has Been Hotel, somebody already bought the license to that and they're working on the show right now. Like Angel Dust and Charlie, they got redesigns. So you know that stuff's gonna be hot. Um, Murder Drones, Pork Chop and Flat Screen. Like I think I actually haven't I haven't looked at Amizi in a while, but I'm pretty sure he's. I shouldn't say he. I actually don't know, but I'm pretty sure they're still making pork chop and flat screen stuff. Um, and yeah, like, and these are all people, like all these online people, like Rooster Teeth, Monty these are people who they might not have grown up watching anime, but they were definitely people who watched Toonami, and that has influenced them. Like, I'm pretty sure that. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't knock on Western animation too much. But it's like, now there is actually a Western resurgence because of the love of animation. Like Dragon's Blood, the show I've been talking about for the past hour, Arcane, Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is getting an anime that should be coming out. The trailer dropped maybe like 2, 3 weeks ago, so the anime should be coming really any day now. Just gotta be patient. Um, But yeah, it's like there's a love. People just don't see it or they're not capitalizing off of it. Which is, kind of sad, but hey, what can you do? I just finished. Okay, so for this, I just finished drawing all the cars, so I'm gonna go back in later. I'm gonna color them. I actually want to finish drawing the assets. I still have to draw the street, draw the buildings. I'm actually not gonna draw that in anime. I'm going to draw it in Photoshop. Then I'm going to upload it to anime, paste everything, see how it looks, and then yeah. Scene one is done. I just sadly have to go back in and fix everything. I hate it when that happens. This is actually the first time happening. What do I mean? I hate when that happens. Like, this is the first time happening where I've drawn something and then the save corrupts. I have to work on this scene now. Uh, I'm doing a second pass. I have to draw this character right here. This character right here, I think I'm just going to have it remain monochrome. This character right here, I'll probably draw a few details on him. I have to get the sidewalk. I have to draw that. I also have to draw like the buildings and the background and stuff like that. For this character, I need to redraw him. I actually need to make his hand bigger. And then as for this is actually somewhat done. I just need to draw the final line art, if that makes sense. And I actually think I'm going to let this scene linger for maybe 2 or 3 more seconds. I'll probably space this out, maybe. Which scene is this? Okay. So I'm actually going to insert a frame here. And let's see this. Because I can always just fill this in, then go in After Effects to add, glares and overlays and different stuff like that. This scene, I said I need to redraw his hands. This scene, and yeah, I just need to draw the background. So one of the things I personally like to do is when I am animating a scene, what I'll do is I'll kind of like just throw the background to the wayside. I mean, I like to rough out the background, but for the final product, I'll go in on a drawing software like Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, and I'll draw in these background elements. So then once I'm done with this animation, all I need to do is just upload the assets and then I'll be done, and I don't really have to worry about anything. So yeah, that's one of the things I do. What else? And yeah, I'm actually making some very good time on this animation, and I just love the work that I've been doing and how long I've been working on it. And do I feel self conscious? Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I do. I feel like I definitely need to work on my speed and my pacing for my animation. I definitely need to make my animations faster. It's just with this particular one, I really wanted to sort of test my limits and test my quality. Like I want to take my time with this, but at the same time, I don't want to spend forever on this. And I think that now I'm actually making good time because I do have more free time. I do have more time in general. I've still been applying to jobs, and I'm not just I'm not just applying to like animator jobs, but I'm also applying to like video editor, concept artist, different roles like that. I You should not be putting all your eggs in one basket. Like you should make sure to be applying to as many jobs and positions as you can. And that's what I've been trying to do. That's what I've been working on. And yeah, I still have hope for my future. Like, I've come this far. I better get something. Anyway, this was a nice stream. This was a really good stream. I think I'm just tired right now, so I'm probably going to call it quits and just chill out for a little while. I will be sure to save this, double save this, and make a copy of this because just. I really shouldn't be cursing because it hurts my algorithm, but like, damn. Damn. Why does this have to corrupt? Why does all of my shading and all of my coloring have to go up in flames? Now I have to go back through and color stuff. I'm sad, but hey, you know what? I chose this job. I chose to be an animator. I chose to fall in love with animation and to do this. Anyway, let me not keep you guys for too long. You guys have stuff you need to do. You guys have things you need to get completed. Anyway, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. Now, this is an impromptu live stream because I usually try to stream on Tuesdays and Fridays, but I had to help my uncle with his Wi-Fi. I had to go down to Garner and help him with his Wi-Fi. Anyway, anyway, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. Stay tuned. And put the bell on, turn the bell on and the notifications. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. This has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Where